Hi guys, Butchie Prime here, back with another custom review, and today we're looking at the Transformers Shattered Glass IDW Impactor. So here he is in his tank mode, but of course we're looking at him. Let's get a quick look at the paints. So as usual, I did use some gray surface primer, and then semi-gloss clear. I need to show those at this point. I show them in like every video, or most videos. Other sprays, I use some TS35 Park Green, and some TS24 Purple. It'll focus a little bit, thank you. And then for colors, I used some purple, some red, semi-gloss black, gunmetal, sky blue, flat black, sky gray, and then I had to mix two colors. He has pink on his knees, which I think I mixed some, I think it was pink, purple, and white. Yeah, you can kind of see it, there you go. Pink, purple, white, there you go. And then for this, is like a green color that I mixed to sort of match that, but not really. Like it's noticeably like much brighter of a color. I don't really know, I can't remember what I mixed to get this. Maybe it was just like white and Park Green? Maybe? I don't know. I did that a while back. But here he is in his tank mode, and this is much more this is, of course, my second Shattered Glass Impactor, but whereas the first one was based on, like, the, I can never remember what his name is, Arch Force. Like, Japanese Arch Force Megatron thing. This one's actually based on his appearance in the Shattered Glass 2 comics. I believe Shattered Glass 2 issue 1, he was in that. So, of course, we only saw like little bits of him. We never saw his tank mode, so I had to improvise some of the color scheme. I did add more to the color scheme, since it's pretty bare. The two images that I have for reference, they're really, really bare. But yeah, I do like how this turned out a lot, though. As you can see here, I used the semi-gloss black for the tank treads, but then the rest of the black on him is a flat black. But so, the legs of the spray paint's purple, and all the green is, for the most part, the spray paint green. This is the only thing that's fully painted with the green I mixed. This is a mold that also is really, really difficult to paint. I don't even think I can go into what all you need to do to paint this successfully like I normally try to do in these videos. Just because, like genuinely, this took forever. Like, it mainly the upper body. The legs are super, super easy. You'd think the swing around these would scrape the sides, but it doesn't at all. I don't know. This is a little bit more loose now, though, just because I shaved down the little bits in here a lot. And it was, like, a bit looser than I wanted it to be, but I'll take it being a bit too loose over it being way too tight. I think, actually, the first one I did was, like, so loose it just flopped. It couldn't hold up at all. But I had a spare of this gun, so I did it again. But, yeah, even got the little bit of sky blue in the cannon, which you can sort of see a little bit. And then all these little bits of black are what I added. These are all, like, bits of flat black that I added just to kind of give the design a little bit more going on. But, yeah, for comparison, here is the original Shattered Glass Impactor, which I still like the original one. I think it's a fun idea, but I wanted one that was a bit more accurate, and I got my hands on the one with the IDW head, so I figured, why not? Did I regret this decision partway through because I really don't like painting this mold? Absolutely, but I think it was worth it. This is probably the best looking of this mold that I've done, but it is also the third time I've painted it, so I mean, at this point it has to be, right? Like, if it was worse than the other two, that'd be saying something. But yeah. Anyways, that is pretty much it for tank mode, so let's go ahead and get him into his robots mode. And here in robot mode, I think it looks really, really good. I think it's better than what the design was on the page, but again, that's because there wasn't too much detail, where I added a good bit of detail to this one, which I'll get into a little bit of it here in a minute. But I'll take a quick look at the head. Everything turned out really nice. As I was painting it, I was just kind of looking at the head. I'm like, this is just the Joker, isn't it? Like, are these colors just the Joker, but like sort of reversed? Like, it's got the greens and the purples. I don't know. I think it's just the DC fan of me. I don't know. Also, side note, I got to use a clear Autobot logo. Very rare. Love when I get to use my clear stickers because I never get to use them. Anyway, you can see all the nice like black details because on the regular design, none of that is there. So it's just kind of big striking green and purple, which is fine. But like I like a little bit more going on. Plus, I liked highlighting some of the sculpted details. Like I pointed out these before, but then even these little like grates in there, and like painting in these little bits. And then the purple here, I mean the pink here is really nice. It's like this sort of bubble gummy pink, and I actually really like the color. I don't think I'm gonna like use it for much, especially since I gotta mix it to get to it. But I mean, it's pretty nice. I think it's solid. These wheels do not work anymore. This one sort of does. This one wiggles. But if I wiggle it too much, it'll reveal the yellow. So there it is up there. We're just gonna act like it doesn't exist. Then of course the feet were painted with the gray. The feet and the face, I think was it. I decided to paint this purple instead of green like it was in the design, just because I knew I'd be flicking this bit back and forth, and I figured the hand-painted purple was stronger than the spray-painted green because it actually does chip a little bit. Like there's a little bit of chipping right there, and a few other areas was like small amounts. I mean, I think the biggest area is like here actually, like this whole thing just. I think here you can kind of see too, like that little bit here is like the hand-painted green because there's a little bit too much chipping right there. And like you can kind of see the difference between that and the rest of the spray paint. I don't think it's too bad. But yeah, it even paints these little bits in here black for just some subtlety. I know, just bright green and purple thing. Subtle, very subtle. So one thing I didn't mention in the beginning is something else I used, which I used it on the arms, this bit of the arms, and then this bit of the shoulders were the only areas it worked. But I actually tried with this custom dyeing plastic. Now, I'll maybe make a video on this in the future when I get more of the hang of it, because this is really just the first time I tried it. And I tried doing, it's only a certain kind of plastic. It's that sort of like rougher plastic that you can't paint, but it works with the synthetic. There's a the synthetic dye. I can't pronounce a word today. Which a friend of mine started using, and I asked him how he did it, so I tried it myself, and it turned out not as I expected, because as you can see, this is purple and this is very, very black. Like, yeah, that's just black. Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't chip. Like, I can just scratch my fingernail. We're good. Which I kind of love it for that. I'm gonna try another custom in the future, like actual black, just because the whole thing's black. It's gonna be a custom mine that I'm gonna redo with a different figure, so it's a little bit better looking. But we'll get to that eventually. We'll talk about it more there. Yeah, maybe in the future I'll do a video on that, because I know a lot of people are gonna ask me, how did you do that? I want to get more of the hang of it before I talk about it at all more. But just know that is probably coming. Hopefully this time as an actually successful YouTube short. I gotta do more of those. I actually had fun. Do you guys like that like minute review? Like 60 seconds or less video for me? I know it's like not like a original thing, but I don't know. If you guys want to see more, I'll try filming more when I can. It's kind of an issue now. It's like I just don't have the time to film as much, so that's why I just haven't been a video in a little while. Sorry. But I am still working on things. You know, my socials, I still post customs and whatnot when I get them done. Anyways, just to bring him back in for comparison, here is the original Shatterglass Impactor, like I said, based on Archforce. Which again, I do still like both of these independently. I think the Archforce idea was pretty great. One of my friends gave it to me when I was like trying to figure out what color scheme I wanted to do for a Shatterglass Impactor, because the whole reason it happened is because, you know, Ross had that sale for a lot of Siege figures. It was like, what, Deluxes were like $8 and Voyagers were like $20. So, it's where a lot of customs came from around Siege. That and the Netflix line. Siege was great for customs. I miss it sometimes. But, yeah. Anyways, this is not a mold I can recommend painting. Dear Lord, it's difficult. Even you see little areas here, like I never went back and fixed that, and there's a bit of yellow there I couldn't just get to. Oh yeah, I also painted this little bit of black there. And I think I did these little vents on the back, just to add even more. But yeah, this isn't a mold I can recommend painting. It's really difficult to mess with, to do, at least for me. There's probably going to be someone in the comments, or someone else that's like, I did this with little to no problems. And I'm like, man, that's awesome. It's good for you. I struggled for a few weeks. But it's still fun. I like it. I like having accurate customs to IDW Shattered Glass. I might do Springer in the future. I don't want the base figure. I want to use the Wrecker one. Because it has like a color in it that I won't have to paint. Because the legs on the regular Springer, it's like super difficult to deal with. That's why I didn't deal with them on my first one. But yeah, I still like how this looks. I just never want to go through painting this mold again. And if I do in the future, probably not. Don't count it. I actually had an idea to do like a generation style demolisher where it was like this mold with like a new head and like the siege jet fired like arm cannons, but it was based on like the War for Cybertron video game colors sort of. But I decided to scrap it. I probably won't do it just because, like I said, I don't like painting this mold. It's a great idea. If anyone wants to do it, it's out there. Go ahead. I don't mind. 100% go for it. I also figured that, Hasbro's probably going to make an Armada Demolisher in like a year or two. So, I'm good. I'm good. Anyways, that is pretty much all I have to say. So, please be sure to check out my channel for more video and custom reviews. And please don't forget to subscribe. You can also check out my Facebook and Twitter pages. Links in the description below. And this is the 14th Prime, signing out.